what was unusual in Tom's case was Tom had a separate recording, songwriting contract with Paul Ahern, like directly with him, and then Paul Ahern signed the contract with the record company. So what ends up happening is you look through this thicket of contracts, and Ahern wasn't really just getting 15%. When you add it all up, he was effectively getting almost half of all of Tom's earnings, Tom and the band's earnings. You mentioned this writer. This is a little bit complicated to explain, but essentially there was the original contract that the record company signed, and then there was sort of this addendum that was put on it, and then it was like buried in there, where there were these like obscure changes. And I read a testimony from somebody who was really familiar with the record industry, who was just basically said, I've never seen anything like this before. The only reason you would put this rider in this place is if you were trying to hide it from people.
Yeah.
And Tom wasn't even paying attention. But what this rider we talk about does is, essentially the record company was going to take a certain percentage, and I'm forgetting the exact number now. And according to Ahern's contract, Ahern had a certain percentage he was supposed to give to Tom. But this writer sort of changed how much the record company was giving, which effectively reduced how much Ahern had to give to Tom. It was pretty complicated. You got to read the book for it. When all of this starts coming out, and that wasn't the only thing. Like the songwriting contract, it was pretty unusual for your manager to also be like the publisher of your music. There were other bands where that did occur, but it's basically like it gives them a chance to double dip and have a lot of control. And so Tom was really locked down by all these contracts, and when he started to have a personality conflict with Ahern, felt like he wasn't looking after his best
Yeah.
interests. You can imagine when the financial stuff suddenly comes out in the open, it's like, wow. And so that explained a lot of that animosity.